He would steal 2 beef legs each time, making off with a total of 500. Whenever the boss told him to seal the truck, he would pretend to go through the motions, slyly slipping the meat into his sleeve when no one was watching. On the way, he'd sell the 2 legs at a bargain to the mob, then pull the seal from his sleeve and close up the truck. After delivering the rest to the real customer, he'd slip a small cut to the warehouse manager, who would fudge the paperwork. It was so smooth, no one ever suspected a thing. But Frank's appetite grew. On the last run, when he opened the truck, it was completely empty. That move infuriated the company, and they took him straight to court. Luckily, the mob stuck by him. They brought in a lawyer who painted Frank as a struggling working man. Somehow, they actually managed to flip the story and get him off the hook. To thank the lawyer, Frank took him out to a bar that night, where the lawyer introduced him to Russell, the head of the Italian mafia. Russell was a man who had his hands in every business and friends in the highest places. You wanted to bribe a judge? You asked Russell. Didn't know how much to bribe? You asked Russell. Wanted to promote someone? You asked Russell. And if you wanted certain people to disappear, you definitely needed his approval. He was a godfather figure. In their conversation, Russell was surprised to find out Frank spoke Italian. It turned out Frank had fought in World War II, right in Russell's hometown in Italy, battling the Germans. Once, he even made 2 prisoners dig their own graves before executing them on the spot. That ruthless efficiency earned him Russell's respect and changed the course of his life. Frank went from a truck driver to a mob enforcer, doing collections and beatings for Russell, while his family remained in the dark. One day, he came home and learned his daughter had knocked over some goods at a grocery store and gotten scolded by the owner. Furious, he dragged her back there and beat the man up, even stomping on his fingers in front of her. Not long after, Frank's 3rd daughter was born, and Russell himself came with his wife to be the godfather. Big names from both sides of the law attended, and Frank basked in the prestige. With more kids came the need for more money, so he took on a risky side job for a man called Whispers, who wanted a rival's laundry business blown up for 10 grand. Frank didn't realize this was a trap that could destroy him. He scouted the location and planned carefully, but the night he showed up with gasoline and explosives, men sent by Russell stopped him and brought him to meet the rival's owner, Angelo, the mob boss of Philadelphia. If Russell hadn't intervened, Frank would have been dead already. To repay the 2 bosses for their mercy, Frank offered to make things right. He went straight to Whispers, shot him dead, and tossed the gun into the river. From then on, that river became his dumping ground. Every time he took a life, he'd get rid of a weapon there, and over time, he'd thrown in enough to arm a small army. He never failed to carry out a hit, which made Russell trust him even more. Russell introduced him to all kinds of powerful men, and even to an elegant waitress. Step by step, Frank was walking deeper into a path from which there was no turning back.